We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. So you can watch us on YouTube too. So back to my explanation. So the sequential thinking MCP, what that one does is that it gives your AI brain. Not it just helps your AI's brain to organize its thoughts. Just when you are going through a lot, think about it like when you are going through a lot and many things dey your mind, many things dey your head. You want to know how the AI wants to basically structure that. Okay, instead of thinking about everything, let me think about it step by step. So each step that is thinking, it like saves the thoughts there. So it's step one, step two, step three now. It will save the thoughts in step one, save the thoughts in step two, so I can never forget. So you can easily just go back to, oh, what did I even talk about in step one? Because the steps can maybe reach 40. Sometimes I've seen where the thinking reach 87, like 87 steps of reasoning, because the code, I mean the wahala like this, they blow mind. Let me even give you the gist of the most recent one. What happened was that the error was saying that there was a mismatch between React Native and React. That's what the error was saying. But the issue was actually an image, expo image, not being rendered properly as React Native image, something like that. In very simple terms, it was using the wrong, it was rendering the wrong image in the app. So the error was saying another thing, and the problem was another thing. Bro, I just dey sit down like this, dey look. E dey reason me sef I dey read am, because once those kind errors wan happen, I like to know how we go resolve am, so dat if e happen in the future, I go know say okay, been there, done that kind level. Yes sir, I train. You can send me a DM on TikTok if you want training sir. We do one-on-one and courses will be available at the end of February. So yeah, so back to my thinking. So that was sequential thinking. Sequential thinking is step-by-step thinking that the AI can use. Next one here is super base. As I said, I mentioned that I've disabled Firebase here and I use Superbase. So this Superbase now is, I don't know if you heard of SQL. If you have heard of SQL, you understand why you need this Superbase MCP. Because normally for database management, you are supposed to learn SQL. If you check online, you see that some people they are, hey, oh, they don't take light to Jesus Christ. They don't take light to. Am I still live? My monitor don't disconnect. Let me find where I go take do this thing now. Hey, how will I do this now? Ugh. NEPA don't take light to make I see where how I go take arrange this my screen now, because I been dey use monitors. Now I'll not be able to see chat too. NEPA base don't disconnect my MCP. Okay, let me see if I can split my screen. Well, how will I do this thing now? I cannot see DMs. So I will not be able to see. Uh, I will be running blind. Let me see if I can join with my phone. I'm coming. Because I need to be seeing waiting at the talk. Um, let me see. Ah, ah. And I did band A. Oh. Okay, I'm seeing myself now. Okay, I'm seeing myself now. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, I'm seeing myself now. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, I'm seeing myself now. Okay, so let's continue. I will echo again. Voila. I can reduce the volume. So yeah, so for Superbase is, yeah, I've closed it. Superbase is basically for managing your database. And by database, I mean like all these things we are writing in this app now, for example, this name, number, email, all these things we are trying to fix here, right? They are saved somewhere. And when they are saved somewhere, your app needs to be able to either remember them or use data, or you too as a merchant, you need to, what do you call it? You need to be able to find the application, right? So Superbase basically helps to store them. And another thing I like about Superbase is that it helps to give you vulnerabilities, which we also are talking about. One of let me show you quickly. Let me show you guys. Okay, I think it's not here. Let me just open it afresh and show you. So there's a place there that I like. Sorry. They call them advisors. Yeah, advisors. I don't know if you can see my screen. Let me see. So this is super base now. Is it can be looking complicated though, but it's not actually that complicated, and that's why the AI is there. Whatever thing that is looking complicated, AI will run out for you. So far you're able to connect. So this is where you see security. I think somebody was mentioning that ways to keep your app safe. This is one way, right? If you are using Superbase for your database to help you to identify the ones that usually come up a lot, they call them path-based search something 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 like that. What that means is that people, I think people will use your search engine. Let's say they want to search for something on your app or a product, they can use that one to basically enter your backend to find it. So Superbase finds it here. These are security advisors and performance advisors. So here you can actually see the warnings will pop up here. If you check it, there's one warning here. This one is leaked password protection. The reason why I've not enabled this one is that it's a paid feature, right? They're telling me to pay $20 per month. I never get money yet. So when I don't get money, I feel they worry about it. So I never get users who go dey worry about leaked password protection yet. But I implemented it locally because when I saw it, I was like, oh, I don't have money to let me go and find the way to implement it in my app. Because all these things like this now features, right? Any feature wey you see for any app, you fit build am by yourself. So I don already implement this thing, this one in here. Another thing you can also look at is this query performance. This one now is the current issue I have, right? If you check here, you see that there are 223 slow queries that are happening to my app because people are already using it. So these 223 queries now, I've already sorted this issue, but I think it takes 24 to 48 hours for it to fetch. So if by tomorrow it would have reduced to maybe like maybe half or thereabout. I don't expect everything to go. But with this, you'll be able to basically see, and all these things are things that normally me personally I don't even have any idea of how to see them. You get so, but with this now, I already have my idea, and what I'll do is what you take screenshots, you will take it to your AI and say, gentlemen, this is what's happening to me. What are the ways I can do it? Do research for how I can help these problems. You get. So that's what I use Superbase for. Let me go back to yeah. Then the next one is Vessel. So this Vessel MCP is because I use Vessel. Vessel is free. I always try to use all the free tools that I can get before I start to dey look for, because we dey build for free with by God's grace. Abi we dey pay for anti-gravity. And then by the time you pay for this one, pay for that one, pay for that one, pay for that one, before your app don come out, you don dey spend money wey you no even get. You get. So that's why I use the Vessel MPC. That Vessel MPC will just help me to either check maybe if I have deployed to GitHub and it's not live yet, I can use this to check why it's not live. Things like that, sha. So for the if you want to set an MCP up, you can click here, view log configuration. You can see here na code wey dey here. All this code like this is MCP servers. You can copy everything here, give your AI. Then if you go to the MCP you want to collect, they will tell you how to install it. They usually give you the code snippet, right? And once you have that code snippet, you can now copy everything here and say, okay, add this MCP, you go add am. If you're a senior man, you're a senior dev, you go fit run am by yourself. But that's it about that. Let's continue checking wetin they send me to do. So that's MCP servers here. So sorry, let me open this back. Make we go back to wetin we dey build jare. So here now, I fixed two issues. Fix API response, blah 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 blah. You can see it's telling me I need to restart Metro. This restarting Metro, the probability that I'm going to start having errors is high. So I no wan restart am now. I go just continue to dey build. Right. So let me check if everything is in order. 9282. We fixed this. You can no longer type long elements here. .com. So this you can see He's not still feeling it. He's not still feeling it. Let me ask why. Or let me just clear it and type it again. Okay, it's feeling Lagos, Lagos. So it's working. So I left this city. I left this city. You can check. You may not be able to change here because the state is fixed. So that is intentional because usually Google Maps will always get the state, but it doesn't always get the city. So that's why I left this city editable so that if a user uses the Google Map and it doesn't, the city will most likely be wrong. You can just edit it here. So now what I want to now implement is now the validation, right? So I take a screenshot to say I only want the continue button should turn red. So what I'm saying to you now is I want to implement Zod validation. What me I will tell the AI is simple English. So the reason why I'm using simple English so that as you are building, you don't need to know complicated stuff. I already know what it's going to do. You're going to do Zod validation. Zod validation is usually for forms to say, okay, if it's like if statements, if a field is so, if a field is not filled, is a field, hey, if a field is not filled, if a field is empty, if a field is empty, it should the button should not show basically. So let me just say the continue button should turn red only when all required fields have been filled. If I click next, you see that the AI will mention Zod. Just watch. So you see, and I've made a mistake here, but it has already started. Because usually what I would say is, let me just stop it. So what I would say is do research for 2026 best practices to implement this validation. Always tell your AI to use 2026 best practices, even though you just dey do wetin you like. And I have to stop it again, sorry, because the image did not store. So delete it, take a screenshot again, click and move. So yes, let me see. Are we having any questions? No question, yes. Please send me flowers. Oh, the people that are supposed to send flowers, I beg. Send flowers. Oh, the people that are supposed to send flowers, please. So yes, rules. So let me speak about that. Somebody asked about rules. So I use rules. Let me show you there. Let me show you where is it. For here, if you check, if you press slash, you see that I have some rules set up here, right? And I usually have workflows. So let me show. I want to show how I set them. Where are these? I'm coming. Yeah. So I don't have enough rules here, but I have plenty workflows. So for let me just give you the differences. Yeah. For rules, I don't really use them. I use skills. So yes, so the even let me now bust the headset. Even when I type it in the prompt, this one that I wrote, okay, use 2026 best practices. If I ask it, is this the 2026 best practice? It will still say, sorry, there's a better way. Let me do it. So I don't know if it usually forgets or it just needs reminder, but it's just more of you feeling like, okay, and to assume rather it's better to assume that they actually hear wetin you dey talk. It's better to just think that okay, you sometimes you dey follow and some other times you dey do wetin you like. You get? So the rules wey I put here now, if you check, so just one rule, a global rule that I put that okay, only follow this one is even long sef, but is this thing cannot expand. Basically, I put a global rule here. What this global rule basically is saying is that only use 2026 best practices. That's the rule I set to. But yet, you go dey do wetin you like. You could dey always do wetin you like. So that's why I don't really set multiple rules. But what another one that we can use is skills. Skills is depending on what you are using. I think for cursor they have their own dedicated skills folder, but for anti-gravity you have to use art. So if you use art like this, you'll be able to basically call the skill. Like now, there's a skill I use that is Corey. I can't find the skill. Oh. I can't even find it here now. Look at okay. Let me find it. So this skill.md now. There are multiple skills there. So that's how I use the skill. The skill comes in when I want to do reviews. That's when I use skills, right? For things like maybe SEO optimization, or maybe um to do how what do I use now? I only use them when I want to do reviews, sha. But if you want to get skills, go to the site skills.sh. That's where you see that's where you would see and skill is good for when you are building from scratch. Because this one I'm continuing. You can see this one don't send me error first. Let me fix this error. Come in. So for errors, I just say SEE finish. That's all I see. So the for skills, is usually me personally for I use them for reviews. And if I wanted to build an app from scratch, I would use skills now because the website where you can get skills or the training skills is skills.sh. Let me just show you people. So this one is created by Vessel. Is a directory of skills. Is it showing there? Let me show you people. So this from here like this, you can see skill stuff that will actually help you. For example, if I'm building with React Native now, as I am, there is this number 9, Vessel React Native skills, right? That you should install. If you want to install it like this, just copy it. Let me just install this skill. I've not installed it before, but my agents are usually smart enough to use it. But let's install the skill to just show people what skills can be used for. So you just copy it like this, as I'm telling you, copy like this, enter here and say, let me just create. So the reason why I'm creating now, I'm going to use a new chat window is that I don't want the agent to lose context. So always try to, that's also best practice, always try to separate your conversations. And another skill about context, I'll show you people shortly. That's and that one, anti-gravity cannot do it. It's Claude that does it. I'll show you people shortly. That's deploying sub-agents. So let me just install this skill first. Plus install this skill globally for me. So now I'm not going to use Claude to do it. I'm going to use Gemini. And the reason why I'm using Gemini is because 6548. The reason why I'm using Gemini is because this is Gemini's platform. So if I wanted it to install it in Claude, I can easily tell Claude to install it too. So let me do that. So now on the side here is Claude. Let me just show you people. While this one is going to install. It's not showing. It's not showing. Can you see Claude? Let me reduce it a bit. Let me just hide it in totality. You can see it's thinking up and down. You go find we run am. So that's why I don't like using that. I don't like using what they call it, Gemini Pro High. It they think too much. So now let me now say tell skill Claude to install the same skill. So this Claude now is the paid version and is the for me is the most advanced AI model in my opinion, right? Because it does coding properly, but it doesn't do design. Design is always bad. Not the design is not bad, it's not as great as Gemini, in my opinion. So this one now is just going to install it. As you can see, it's installing. Let me check on the other one. Asking me jam question every time. Let me show you. You can see this one is already installing it. Run it in terminal. This one too is installing it. So if you want to use the skill, you have to call the skill every single time. As you can see, this one is done. You see the reason many things. So that's just to show you. That's just I just wanted to use one to just show you why this nigga is smarter than this nigga. You can see. Vessel has been installed globally. Here's summary. Cloud Code installed, Anti-Gravity installed, Client installed, Gemini CLI installed, GitHub. Like it has installed it on separate levels. And this nigga is still wondering on how he's going to finish the command. That's why I like using this one here. This one is smarter. But then you don't want to always use your smart agent to run everything because you need to reserve the wisdom for more complicated tasks. And that's why you see me still see them what Gemini is saying. I'm still I'm still grappling with the project. It's quite frustrating. Hey, Gemini sometimes they always they muzz me. See, I'm still grappling with the project. It's quite frustrating. I suspect the send command blah 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 might not be transmitting blah 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 blah. So I've stopped it because it's just wasting my wasting the column my tokens. So let's go back to what we were doing. Yeah, so the question was the workflows. Let me explain workflows too. So workflows is for things that you repetitively do. Right, let me show you the workflows I have. Slash. When you press slash like this, you see that here extract PR comments, extract security alerts, resolve PR comments, resolve security alerts, and sync color images. So now what these ones are workflows for GitHub. As I told you, I've set up like 16 scanners on my GitHub. So anytime I push, they will identify heaven and earth. And sometimes it gets so much, sometimes up to 150 vulnerabilities can be found. So it's very difficult for the CLI. I told you I use Gemini's GitHub CLI instead of GitHub MCP. So the CLI sometimes struggles to extract the comment. That's why I had to create this workflow. So that this workflow uses one graph QL something like that. I don't know what that means totally, but when I was reading what it was doing, that's what it is. It uses GraphQL to extract the comments from GitHub and bring it in. It will now create a to-do list that I will now give the smarter model, which is Claude, to basically attend to them. Never send me flower now where I go use the tell you na scanners. No worry, I go talk tomorrow. If I reach this, the scanner is up to 16. Like I have to explain every single use case for each scanner, what each scanner does, and what's so it's long. Now I no wan reach there because I feel no continue wetin I dey talk for here. So and best practice too for vibe coding is for every implementation try to commit for and every commit to the commit to push to GitHub, which will send scanners. You can see I've been working since I never commit anything. I'm doing it intentionally because if I commit like this, it will start to dey send me assignment to do. So I'm on those assignments, so I don't like to ignore. So let's check. Sorry, let me just fix this one thing first. Remove the total under. Sorry, not in the total text under negotiate. Yes, then another thing that people do is the agent manager. Me, I don't like to use it, but this agent manager helps you multitask. So the reason why me I don't like to use it is that it's not what's the word now? It's best practice. You can use it. I use it sometimes, but depends on what I'm working on. If I'm working on the app and the web simultaneously, bam, I can do it. But when I'm usually doing like this, for example, this one is focused now, it may be clashing sometimes. So you can also use the agent manager to let me show you how it looks like. Can you see? So this is what it looks like. You have several tabs here. You can just be clicking to be chatting with both of them and be firing. You can see this one is again. This is the what we started there. So if I want to continue now, I can just maybe click here and still give another prompt to fire. like that, up and down. So yeah, so let me move the simulator to here so that I can just use both of them together. But it's not showing. It's not wide enough for this TikTok for you people to enjoy it. That's why I'm just sticking to that. So let me just stick to what you people are seeing so that you can enjoy it, Jerry. So here, let me yeah, thank you for removing that. So let's continue. Please ask questions, oh you guys continue as guests. So now you can see this has been implemented. The stuff is now gray. So what I'm doing now is I'm reading what it did. Why your vibe coding is very, very important to read because you're not a developer. Or if you're a developer too, it's good that okay, your name. But if you're not a dev, you are learning concepts that when you hear, you what's the word now? You'll be able to relate in a way because sometimes it can bring a statement in the future, be like, no, 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 that's not what you did before. It's always best practice to read what you do. Change form mode to unchange. Added is valid, blah blah blah. So let's now test it. Type type. You can see something. There's something is happening, but I don't know why. I don't have strength for that one first. We confirm ABC. So now I'm seeing that email address is starting with capital letter, which is wrong in my opinion. You can see I'm typing it's just moving itself there. So let me just add this one that email field should be small letters. All these are minor UX stuff. Oh. So if you are building, most of the time, they consign people. But me, I like to build it perfectly because most I don't like to come back. See this error message itself is wrong. Enter a valid number. So let me add that one to his to-do list. Error message is wrong. Another thing I like about anti-gravity that you can just be sending it all the things. You don't need to wait for this one to finish. Like if request is very simple. Like now error message is not does not is wrong. Doesn't satisfy context. So next one is address validation to be able to edit. You can see that our implementation is working perfectly. That if it's not sorry, then we can continue. And here is another problem. So let's go to the web and see how they handle this. Inspect to change to okay, yes, that's even true. We found a bug here. Who remembers the bug we found? The bug was here. When you click country, it uses the wrong. This is the wrong. Um, Let me change tab. Gemini has started. Let me show you one thing Gemini is to do. It go just dey go. It go just dey reason many things. You don't dey kolo dey go. This is Gemini for you. I just said email field should be in lower case. So should be lower case. See wetin you don reason reach. Very simple thing. That's why I don't like this Gemini 3 Pro High. Simple stuff, e go dey reason dey go. And I can't use Flash until 5:48 p.m. So I need to be patient in my life. So you can see that's almost 2 hours from now. So and me, I always use Flash. It's somebody that insulted me that made me start using Flash. Oh. Somebody on TikTok that was like, you think Flash is better because you are seeing I mean you think Pro is better because you are seeing Pro. Yeah, now new error. I know I show drop the error there. So now since I have the previous message there, and also this error, this one now switch to Claude Sonnet. So just let me run it. Eh, well, no, I can't use. It's a super base issue. I can't use Claude for it. So the reason why I cannot use Claude for super base is that the reason why I cannot use Claude for super base is that the Gemini speaks to super base better than Claude from my own experience. Voila again. Oh. Rewind. Let me just say I'll come back to this error. Okay, delete now. Waiting this up. Ah, voila. Oh. So guys, these are the things you'll be facing small while you are vibe coding. Let's see. Let nobody offend me. Figma guy, tell them to send me flower. Because I don't understand waiting this up for here. If somebody is dancing on TikTok now, they go dey send 100 flowers. Oh. And they give knowledge. Knowledge and understanding. Hey, bro. So yeah, guys, ask questions. If you have any questions, if you have questions in your own vibe coding too, you can also ask. Excuse. Oh, I don't need fire since 9 o'clock. And only 2 flowers why I don't get. God, why? See why I don't like Gemini. E go just dey reason so many things, so many things. Over reasoning dey always dey choke am. And I cannot even keep up with reading it because e just dey fire dey go. Just dey fire dey go. Say aha! Realization and that is the case of Solomon Grundy. So this one now, if it has not happened to you, you never start. So what happened here is that Gemini don't crease. So your Gemini will always be having. I told you say sometimes you could just choke for Gemini head. Everything will just the everything will just be full in head like this. So we reload the IDE. Always very sad. And it takes a while to reload. But while that one is reloading, let's see if and that's another painful thing. The smarter AI cannot read images, right? Smarter AI, like Claude, which I've told you before, is smarter, right? It cannot now read images. So I cannot screenshot and say, bro, this is the issue I'm going through. I have to be able to describe it to it. So the only way I can do it is if I save the image on my desktop, copy the path, copy the part of the image and paste it here. That's when Claude, which is in my opinion, smarter AI, will be able to now access it. So that's the sad thing. Let me first check that the MCP is still active because sometimes the MCP decrease. It will just after a restart, you can see it's showing install something that I have set up already. And you see that the only way to know that this has happened na experience. You get so now part of the things where as you are learning, as you are growing as a vibe coder, you go dey know say okay once your IDE crash, yeah, also once your IDE crash, you go know say okay you need to come and check your MCPs. That one na experience teach me. Yeah, so do be the haters will always be here now. Now haters they always they give me energy now. No, anti-gravity is not mostly for front-end designs or just debugging. Oh. Anti-gravity is an IDE. And by IDE, for those that don't know what IDE means, integrated development environment, meaning that it's like a browser, but for coding. So the only way to visit the internet is via your browser, one of the best ways to code is via an IDE. You can the pros, the OGs, the senior men, they use terminal to code. Let me show you. So if you are a senior man, eh, you can code inside here a terminal, right? Okay, I have a terminal inside here sef. Let me even show you. If you're a senior man, like all these haters that are here now, you can just this is a terminal place. You can type Claude and Claude will activate inside here. I can even screenshot the terminal. Let me even check. Because terminals now done the wise. See now. So let me ask, can you read this? Can you see this error? So this is Claude in the terminal, right? And you can use it if you are an OG. Me, the only time you see me in the terminal is when I've expired, when all my this thing, when I've exhausted all of this, my agents on the IDE. Gemini has finished, Claude has finished, and this my extension, my Claude Code extension here has also finished. That's when you see me in the terminal because with terminal you can use Claude. Although Claude will not work in the terminal, let me split it into two so you see what I'm talking about. Split terminal. So you can also call Gemini. Let me close this. You can call Gemini in the terminal too. So in your corner, supposed to load. So terminal is for experts, people that know what they are doing, right? The OGs. So when all my kini don finish, my anti-gravity limits, my cloud limits, that's when you now see me here trying to use Gemini. And me personally, I try to avoid the terminal because the changes in the terminal are not easily reversible. You can see how in here, let me go to this. You can see how you can easily just rewind code. You can see this button here, undo changes to this point. If I click it, okay, let me go up more. So if I click undo changes now, you can see what it's saying that it's going to subtract 3, minus 7, delete, minus 3, minus 1, minus 48 plus 9. So what's happening here is that the IDE can rewind your code to that point. They call it a checkpoint. So with checkpoints, you can basically go back in time. That is why IDE is for beginners. But you see terminal, you cannot go back in time oh. You cannot go back in time. What you have done is law. So if you mess up your code, right? Let me update my this thing. If you mess up your code, you nothing wey you fit do oh. The only way to do it is to try to fix it up again. So I've updated Gemini to fix it. So and the only way to employ sub-agents with Gemini is via the terminal. So sub-agents are used to preserve context, right? And preservation of context is what I said before that your AI is not, it cannot remember everything. So you want to try to limit the things that it is doing at some point. So let me show you an example of what I used the sub-agent to do recently. So you understand what I mean. Let me just go to a previous conversation. So I usually use sub-agents for bug hunting. Let me show you one. Good. So this is something I did previously in the past. Let me show you. So you can see now. Okay, this one is during the previous terminal. Let me see. Good. So what I did was that I deployed, let me close this so you see properly. I deployed 20 sub-agents, right, to be able to investigate my code for bugs. So it assigned it to 12 agents and found 139 bugs. So if you have 139 bugs, one agent cannot solve it, right? One agent cannot solve all the bugs because As you can see from here now, at the top, you can see that this session is being continued from a previous conversation that ran out of context. Agents, the AI agent will always lose context at some point, right? It will always lose context at some point. So if I wanted to fix 139 bugs, at some point the agent would have forgotten what the bugs were even about in the first place, right? Because it will be going on different turns, okay, fixing one by one by one. So the way I asked it to do now was to deploy sub agents, divide this 139 now is maybe like 140, divide it into 20, no, maybe like two. If I say 20 bugs, that's like 7 issues per agent, right? So those 20 agents, you can deploy up to 50 sub agents, so depending on your subscription that you did for Cloud. So the agents will now go. It's just like you creating an architecture of, okay, you don't want to do the work. You're a lazy man. You want to sit down, make all your slaves go run all the things for you. So the boss agent go sit down. Then you now tell it to deploy sub agents to go and do all the work, fix all the bugs. Then the boss agent can now say, okay, oh, make I go review all the fixes that people made. Or you can even tell sub agents to be bosses agents. You can deploy a sub agent to monitor the sub agent. So it's like doing like layers of agents, right? You're having, as a boss, you have deployed like a manager. Then the manager now deploys a sub manager to manage the agents. So those managers will now review, the tiny agents will now give feedback to the sub manager. Sub manager will now review what those ones did and tell, okay, the boss manager, this one has done, before coming to give you feedback. So that way, by the time you loop it like that, this one will not, you see, people like this Hollard now that just came in to type nonsense without understanding context is part of the people, is people you need sub agents to send to go and knock. You just come in, you don't ask about context, say, look, when you not finish, make una find developer to debug am for you. In your mind, you're a developer, I trust you, but at least in your development there is something called you need to understand context before you drop a comment. You understand? So don't just come and be typing nonsense. If you won't type nonsense, type it with context. You get me now? So just come and just shout, you don't even know what I'm talking about. Do you know whether me I'm a developer? You don't even know who I am. Come here, hey, one love. When you not finish, come and so I beg, please, before you type nonsense in my DMs, please type it with context. Me, I like nonsense, so but always type with context. I just go and beg you people because it's not stupid people you are that you serious. Me, I look like stupid person. I look like stupid person now. So don't type stupidity in my DM because I will enter you straight, please. So as I was saying, so basically that's what the whole deploying of sub agents can do. Help you to find bugs. That's just one case study that I use it for. You can also use it to implement features. For example, you want to implement a large feature that you want to break into sub features. You can also deploy sub agents to to implement the features. The features you can also deploy maybe like a supervisor to review what each one is doing at each time and call it and correct it if maybe it's making mistake along the line, right? So that is just one example. Let me first fix this error here. I'm coming. So sorry. So sorry. So that's basically what a use case for sub-agents for you can use. It will save you. In fact, if you want to review your app, it is best done with sub-agents because they will crawl everywhere and look for inconsistencies. I think Eniola someone was asking me about how to spot vulnerabilities. That's also one pattern you can use besides the GitHub scanners. Can you deploy a lot of sub-agents to go and search to use it using best practices, or if you can give the document for you to join. So let's fix this error first. I'll use Cloud Opus to fix this. See. So yeah, so this is a use case of where I use sub agents to fix bugs that were found in the code. Let me see. So yeah, so this is the you can see total bugs fixed, all amount 139 plus, and it groups it also. So this grouping now, these categories, I'm the one that gave you the categories actually, and I also told it to do research for categories that I might have omitted, that categories that I might have omitted that are present in the type of app that I'm working on. So it goes online. You can see this one. That's why I said I don't like using Claude. Remember, I said I don't like using Claude for super based errors. This is why. I just did it so I'll show people. This is why, because it always needs Claude cannot usually access the super based MCP, right? And that's why I cannot fix this error. So let me go back and now do the same, give the same error to Gemini, and you can see. So I just wanted to show you the reasons. These are one of the reasons why you decide on which agent to use for a problem. You understand? So this one just to show you that Claude, as smart as Claude is, it cannot use the super base MCP because it doesn't have access to it. So you have to use Gemini. Um, C. I just say C, or I can be specific and say use the super base MCP. Let me even be specific so that blessed plenty haters don't dey join, so that it doesn't look like, oh, I'm just typing nonsense or I don't know what I'm typing. Use the super base MCP. I don't usually like to type it because they can usually figure it out. Use the MCP to investigate this issue, with this error and resolve it. Ensure to use 2026 best practices. Since haters are joining, make dem notice say because say we know the rights, we know the type plenty, we just the mumu ourselves for here. So yeah, so you see that in this run now, Gemini will actually solve the error that is on screen. It will use the Superbase MCP. I did not even check if the MCP is even available to start with. Okay, it's installed. Good, good. So let's see if that works. So guys, if you have questions, ask. Oh. Okay, I'm seeing some questions here. What language is that? Oscar, I am currently building with React Native. As you can see, who is seeing my screen now? You can see that it's already accessing the MCP tool. Let me zoom in a bit. As you can see, it's using the MCP tool to first list the project. So normally now, basically this error means that I'm supposed to deploy an edge function. An edge function is just English for what I use. It's just, let me just it's just basically a something you want to run autonomously. I think that's the best way I can describe it, sha. But you can also check online what edge function means. But basically, to use this MCP to basically deploy this, solve this error. So yeah. Question is your backend. The Grace boy, are you asking me what backend I am using? So let's wait for Gemini to fix. And this is my problem with Gemini Pro. It thinks too much. I rather use Gemini Flash, but that's all I have access to ATM to 548. So Gemini is over reasoning the problem here. Although remember that I was supposed to do a restart, but I've been refusing to restart the app. So if this does not work, then I actually need to restart the app because of the feature, the refactor that I did. So let's see if this will fix it, and we will be done. So for this project, the Superbase I'm using for backend. So Superbase is my back end, but for other projects, I use Node.js hosted on my VPS. So I have a VPS. I bought the VPS from Hostinger. So my problem with Lovable is the inability to export. Okay, now you can export code, sha, but I'm not a fan of Lovable because they try their best to keep you in their system, right? And um any system that is not allowing me the freedom to take my code from it, put it into another one, take it out, thereabout. I think Lovable has added that feature, sha, but at the point that I explored Lovable, they didn't have that feature there. So that's why I don't like Lovable. Plus, I don't think you can see raw code in Lovable while working inside Lovable. So that's why I don't use Lovable. I use Anti-Gravity by Google, right? Anti-Gravity lets me see raw code, and I can use Cloud Code inside. So because this Cloud Code now, this Cloud here, this is my own personal subscription that I'm using. I have a subscription on Cloud that I'm using, and that enables me to basically when this one expires, because this one there are limits like this, it go dey burn. Once that one finish, I can now still be coding with Claude. Gemini takes too long. You can see it's taking too long. That's why I don't like Gemini. It takes Gemini 3 Pro high. It takes too long to solve issues. It will reason and reason and reason and reason. It go just the reason they go. Bam. So let's see. I have investigated the function, blah 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 blah. But mobile client is failing. Please restart your development server. Minimize. Okay, so I don't at this point we don't have any choice but to restart. So restart it for me. So that's another thing AI does. It will be telling you to do stuff it can do. So that's another thing you can do. So when it tells you, oh, you need to do this, just say, bro, do it for me, bro. What is the point of your whole intelligence? Come on. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. My internet. NEPA wants to finish me. He's one kill me for here. Sorry, guys. The one kill me, Jerry. Make I check what they do. Oh Lord, JC made another one. Let me see. Where's Otto? Jesus. If you got a man, where your man at? Fuck that. Where your hands at? Mama. I know when my phone falling in love with a different time zone. God, iPhone. Good. This is the error again. Come on. So guys, I'm tired though. I need to rest though. I don't tire. I'll see you guys. So let me come and tell you bye bye you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't tire. Or when you bring letter big. Later.